Hi students, welcome to VerandaRace, and today we are going to study sentence improvement in a different methodology. With a different approach, we are going to study sentence improvement. So let us start the session with sentence improvement, and let me tell you that we are going to discuss 10 questions today. Sorry for being late because there was some internet connectivity issue. So we shall start the session as soon as possible. I think you can hear me and listen to me. So we'll start with sentence improvement, and there will be 10 very special questions with very conceptual questions that will enhance your understanding of sentence improvement. We'll discuss very conceptual questions. Most of the questions will be based on adjectives, and some will be based on other topics as well. So adjectives will be the basic, logical comparison will be the basic of today's sentence improvement. Fine. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So let us start the session. Sentence improvement, day 1. So the first question is on your screen right now, and I will discuss this question with you all. And you need to focus on what I'm saying. I will discuss every concept in a very explained manner, detailed manner. We'll also discuss the solution, how this answer has come. Okay. So first question is, by the time he had jumped into the pool, he realized that the water in the pool had already drained out. This is the question. So this is the highlighted part. Had already drained out. So we need to find what should be the correct option that can improve or replace the highlighted part. We need to find out that. So just give me 1 second. I must see the channel is working or not. Okay. So the rule says that when there are two actions in a sentence, the previous action is written in past perfect and the next action is written in simple past. So you can see that by the time he had jumped into the pool, he realized that. So leaving this part aside, we need to focus only on this part. He realized that the water in the pool had already drained out. Do you think water from a pool can drain out automatically? No. It will be drained out by someone else. So there should be passive voice. The water from the pool will be drained out by someone. So the answer should be had already been drained out. So by the time he jumped into the pool, he realized that the water in the pool had already been drained out, because there is some other force involved to drain out the water in the pool. So the answer should be, he realized that the water in the pool had already been drained out. Had already been drained out. This should be the correct answer. Fine? Why I am telling this? Had plus been plus drained. Been is the structure of passive voice because somebody else must have drained out the water from the pool. Fine. So the understanding is that water from a pool cannot drain out on its own. There should some other force that is involved in draining out the water. Clear? Okay. Moving ahead. Okay, this is a very interesting question. The works of Shakespeare are better than any other playwright of his age. What's the meaning of playwright? One who writes the plays, dramas, plays and all. So the works of Shakespeare, works means creations. You must be wondering that the plural of work is not available. We do not use the plural of work, but works is used when we talk about creations. artistic creations. Okay, so the works of Shakespeare are better than any other playwright of his age. So we are comparing the works of Shakespeare with any other playwright of his age, which is incorrect. Understand this. We have to compare the works of Shakespeare with the plays of any other playwright of his age. Let me make it very clear. The comparison is between works of Shakespeare, and it should be between works of any other playwright. So this works of Shakespeare should be compared with works of any other playwright. So we have not used works of over here. So in this sentence, the works of Shakespeare are better than, here it should come, the works of any other playwright of his age. So the answer should be the works of Shakespeare are better than those of any other playwright of his age, because the works will be replaced by those of. This should be replaced by those of. The works should be replaced by those. This is demonstrative pronoun. Okay, let me make it clear once again for you. Okay. Suppose I say the climate of Chennai is warmer than Delhi. Is it correct? No, because we are comparing the climate of Chennai with the climate of Delhi. Okay, so this word climate should not be repeated in a sentence. So it should be that of. So the climate of Chennai is warmer than that of Delhi. This should be the correct answer. So here we are talking about the works of Shakespeare. That's why I have written those of any other playwright of his age. Getting my point? Clear? Okay. Next question. His books is 10 times cheaper than mine. Okay. Suppose you have to measure 10 kilometers. Suppose you have to measure 10 kilometers. How would you measure 10 kilometers? First, you must know what is 1 kilometer. If you know 1 kilometer, then you can multiply it with 10, right? Suppose I have to measure 5 meters. I must know what is 1 meter. Then I can multiply it with 5 meters. Similarly, his book means somebody else's book, is 10 times cheaper than mine. This statement is incorrect. I'll tell you why. 10 times cheaper means we have to compare 10 times, multiply 10 times with the basic unit. For example, 5 into 1 meter. 1 meter is the basic. Similarly, his book is 10 times into the basic unit. So in adjectives, the basic unit is positive degree of comparison. There are 3 degrees of comparison. I'll make it clear again. Wait. There are 3 degrees of comparison. One is positive, one is comparative, and one is superlative. Fine. So positive is cheap, comparatively is cheaper, and superlative is cheapest. So if we have to measure 5 kilogram, we must know 1 kilogram into 5. So if we have to say 10 times, we have to multiply it with as cheap as. Cheap is what? Positive degree of comparison. So the answer is, his book is 10 times as cheap as mine. Mine means my book. Clear? Okay. Question number 4. No less than 1,000 people were killed in the earthquake. Okay. People 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can count people. We can count people. Because people are countable nouns. But if I say for few is the positive degree, fewer is the comparative degree, fewest is the superlative degree. Okay, few, fewer, fewest. For this is for countable nouns. Little, less, least. It is for uncountable noun. So here we are talking about people. And the degree used over here is comparatively, because over here than is there. We say na, this is bigger than that. I am taller than you are, this way. So no less than, no less than. So it should be no fewer than, because for countable nouns, because we are talking about people, we use few, fewer, fewest. So for countable nouns, we use few, fewer, fewest. So fewer should be used over here. So answer should be no less than, no fewer than 1,000 people were killed in the earthquake. Because we have to use the comparative degree, because than is already used over here. And fewer is used for countable nouns. So the answer should be no fewer than. I'll do it once again for you. See, than has been used over here, than. It means here it should come any comparative degree adjective. So fewer should be used over here, fewer. Fewer than. So answer should be this. Clear? Okay. Moving ahead. Next question. The world is running because of the vast difference between the IQ level of the erudite and of the lesser mortals. What's the meaning of erudite? Knowledgeable people. Knowledgeable. Erudite means knowledgeable people. So the world is running because of the vast difference between the IQ level of the erudite means the knowledgeable people and of the lesser mortals. So we need to understand what kind of comparison we are making. What kind of comparison we are making? We are comparing the IQ level of the knowledgeable people and the IQ level of the lesser mortals. Lesser mortals means, lesser means weaker, inferior. Fine. And mortals means one who will die. Man, one who will die someday. One who will die. So the question says, the world is running because of the vast difference between the IQ level of the erudite and because of the lesser mortals. So is this correct? See, we are comparing. I'll erase everything again. I'll erase everything again and make it easy for you. Question is a bit difficult because the world is running because of the vast difference between the IQ level of the erudite and the lesser mortals. If we don't use off over here, suppose we delete it, what will happen? The world is running because of the vast difference between the IQ level of the knowledgeable people, that is the erudite, and the lesser mortals. So we are talking about the IQ level of the erudite, and of the lesser mortals. So this sentence is no improvement is required is the answer, because of is already mentioned over here. This of shows that the IQ level of the erudite and the IQ level of the lesser mortals. Fine. You're not able to understand, I think. You are thinking that we should not write off over here. No, off should be mentioned over here because the IQ level of the erudite and the IQ level of the lesser mortals. So the IQ level of the lesser mortals can be written as of the lesser mortals. Clear? So no improvement required. Next question. The idea to establish a utopian society. Utopian means a land where everything is in a perfect social order is known as a utopia. A land where everything is in perfect social order is known as a utopia. So, the idea to establish a utopian society has been in the fancy of people since the earth took its shape. So, people have always tried to bring a perfect social order. So, this part has been highlighted, has been in the fancy of people. So, what should be the correct answer? The answer should be A. The answer should be A, because when we say this is my fancy means this is my dream. Just a moment, students. So when we say fancy means dream and whimsical thoughts. So when I say this is my fancy, so it shouldn't be has been in the fancy of people. This is incorrect because in modern English, this in has been removed because it is a weaker form of the preposition. A weaker form of the preposition. So the answer should be has been the fancy of the people. It has been the fancy. Fancy itself means dream, and this in has been removed. There is no use of writing the in over here. Clear? The answer should be has been the fancy of people since the earth took shape, because fancy itself means dream, means imaginative thought. Clear? The biggest ship on earth was loaded with a rich cargo that was bounded towards north of California. Okay, I think this should be removed. This thing should be removed. Okay. The biggest ship on earth was loaded with rich cargo that was bounded towards north of California. See, when we use a ship being loaded with, so the correct form of word is not loaded, it's laden. Laden. So, the biggest ship on earth was laden with a rich cargo that was bounded towards north of California. This should be the correct answer. For ships to be loaded with something, we use laden, not loaded. So the form is like laid, laden, 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 laid, laden, laden. Fine. Next. The doctor lay the patient on the bed to check his blood pressure once he realized that the symptoms of a possible heart attack were imminent. Okay. So it's a bit difficult question. I'll tell you how. Lie, lay, lane, lay, laid, laid, lie, lied, lied. Okay. So when you say lie, lied, lied, this means to lie to someone, to say a false statement. That's so lying to someone. But when you say lie, lay, lane, it means to lie on your own, lie on a bed or do something like that. So when we say he lay on the bed yesterday, this is when you make someone lie, that is known as lay, laid, laid. The doctor laid the patient on the bed to check his blood pressure. This should be the correct answer. Now I'll tell you why. Don't worry. The doctor laid the patient on the bed. It cannot be the doctor lay the patient on the bed. Lay means the patient, it becomes the present tense, right? This is making someone lie. Making someone lie. Lie means not lying false statements. Making someone lie means making someone lie on the bed. So this is used for that. So the doctor laid the patient on the bed should be replaced by doctor laid the patient on the bed, because this is making someone lie. And this is lying on your own. I lay on the bed yesterday means I did not make myself lie. I lay on the bed. This is past tense. So this is lying on your own. Lying on your own. This lying is not falsifying, not making false statement. This is literally lying on the bed. Clear? So this is making someone lie. So the past tense should be the doctor laid the patient on the bed. Clear? The past tense should be. The man was bounded to chains in order to stop him from hurting others. Okay? Bind. Bound. 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 Bounded. Bounded. This bind means to tie with someone, something. For example, if I say he is bound with family ties. So this is this bound. I will bind you with this rope. Means to tie with something, tying something with something. And this bounded means to go in a certain direction. The ship was bounded towards California. The ship was bounded towards Tripolis. So here it should be the man was bound to chains. Bound to chains. This should be the correct answer. Bound means tied with. Tied with. The man was tied with chains means was bound to chains. So bounded is the wrong expression. It should be bound to chains. Okay? And this bounded, we are talking about V1, V2, V3. V1 means simple present, V2 means simple past, V3 means past participle. So bound, bounded means it should be, this is used for going in a certain direction. Clear? Talking about the recent developments in the field of science and technology, the minister said that much water had flown under the bridge since independence? Very simple question. Very simple question. Much water had flown. What? Fly, flew, flown. Do you think water flies? Water does not fly, okay? So this expression is wrong. Fly, flew, flown is wrong. The actually water flows. So flow, flowed, flowed. This is the correct expression. Much water has flowed under the bridge since independence. And it means that there has been a lot of changes that have happened. There has been a lot of changes that have happened since independence. So much water had flowed under the bridge since independence. Okay, wait. Actually, the tense is also incorrect. Tense should be much water has flowed. Has flowed because flowed is used for water. See, this is water is flowing. We use flowed. V3 is flowed. So much water has flowed under the bridge since independence. This is the correct answer. Much water has flowed under the bridge. Not had. Has. Because we are talking about recently. Recent developments. Okay, students, with this we'll end the session for today. I hope you enjoyed the session a lot. Thank you so much. And we'll meet tomorrow.